Okay, so welcome everyone. If you're following us live, that's excellent. Um, let's take a quick look at what's going on with the chess. So, welcome to the stream. This is Eddie. Well, I am Hopshu, and this is Eddie. We are alumni from Warwick and from Bristol, respectively. And I'm not very good at chess, but Eddie is. So we are going to have an attempt at
Very modern
unpacking
you.
some of these games. There are two more rounds of Buka left. They're half-hour games, roughly 15 plus 10. And let's take a quick look at round 8. What's happened there? So what are the games we should be looking at? I think the main thing is we also should be looking at what the rankings are so far. So let's find the rankings for the viewers. Eddie, can you also roughly see my screen, or is it kind of not available to
I'm
you?
looking. I'm seeing your screen through the stream,
Okay, that's completely fine then. Excellent.
but then there's going to be a delay, basically.
Yeah, no problem. So we are just going to take a quick look at the tables and tell our viewers what's going on. So, Warwick is leading the file, leading the on 12 points, joint with Oxford and Cambridge. Although on game points, Warwick is ahead, so I imagine that will be good for the tie break, if that matters. Um, I went on. So I might have lost to Oxford. That is unfortunate. But Cambridge, that's going to be quite challenging. Okay. Well,
I am losing you a lot at the moment.
are you losing me?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes. We're going back to the chess. Okay. So, Eddie, is there any game in particular on the
Okay.
um,
Uh, let's take a look. What's going on first of
a few
all?
good games? Last 10 seconds. Since Ali Reza
Maybe like
Gorgon.
final moments of scramble.
Uh, we could take a quick look at that. Are you on it?
I think there's just a bit of delay between me talking and you selecting things on the screen. That's all.
Yeah, that's completely fine. You'll have to be on yours. Just look at the games on your screen. So, like,
Yeah.
pick up the link here on your side. So, on the Elliot game, um, anything interesting?
This one.
Let's take a look. I think.
This is pretty crushing for White here.
Yeah. Is it though? Black is Bishop Knight against White's Rook, right? Obviously, the queenside pawns are quite.
You can just take the bishop
Pretty
now
good.
with the rook.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
If pawn takes back, then your queen just takes the rook on a8.
That is quite neat. So that would be this, and then this, and then this, all this stuff. Anyway, so I should probably stop doing that to the board. In case I complete. Did this actually happen? Okay, that's good. Okay,
Yeah. King moves to b8, then you just take the take on d5 as well.
interesting.
Oh,
So, I think I might have messed around too much with the. Any results that are interesting or academic. So, um, Bristol round 7. What round are we on? We are on round 8. Bristol are playing UCL. There's Zachariah James Clark, Ali Razor Gorgon that we were looking at just now, Cole Shepherd. In Cambridge, I wonder how that's going. Victor Stoyanov, Max Turner, Federico Rocco, and Aria Kont. So you'll probably meet some of these people, Eddie, when you come up for the
Yeah,
play next week.
I've seen these names before.
Yes, so let's take a quick look. Is it going badly? Victor Stoyanov. What have we got here? 2 minutes to Victor, 26 seconds to Kobe. Kobe is an FM. But I have not met people. I think I'm getting a bit too old for the junior chess circuit in England.
I mean, these guys are still at university.
Yeah. So let's take a quick look. Eddie, what do you think of the game?
This one we got.
Initial assessment.
Back to play now.
I mean, it kind of looks fairly drawn, but I do have a feeling that black has an advantage with the centre pawn. I wonder what you think.
I can't really say at the moment. I think, well, best play computer, probably. But those two bishops, the bishop pair is very strong.
Yeah. Shall we give them a bit of time and look at the next games? So the next game is Max Turner versus Jan Petra. Something is happening and it looks quite exciting.
It's going to happen very quickly, obviously. They'll
Max appears to be black and Max appears to be crushed. If I'm correct.
Oh, this is quite an easy win for White, I think.
Yeah, so that is conclusive. Even I know that's an easy win for White, and I am a mere 120. Which for the young children of this stream, I am about 1500.
The thing is with this position, I think, to comment really is because now the pawn's on b7 on a white square. There's no way for black to knock it off without trading the rooks.
Yeah. And as soon as rooks are traded, then
you've got 4 pawns, a bishop versus bishop and a pawn, and it's just really easy to do.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff. Okay, so he is resigned. Next game is Ranesh versus Federico Rocco. Federico is white, I believe. And this position looks just deeply unpleasant. Like, I think it's still quite drawn. But
yeah, and material wise and everything. I think this is the moment where it's about king vulnerability.
Yeah. I think my issue is that it's the kind of game I would hate. Like, there are just so many things flying around.
So I look at Black's king. It's actually very nicely tucked on g7 at the moment. But and then the immediate threats are things like c3, white pawn and c3. That looks potentially quite weak.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good. We could look at the next game. It looks quite drawn. I'm just wondering what the lines are out there. I mean, what are the obvious weaknesses for white?
Yeah, it's c3. It's what's glaring out for me.
Okay, so it's already fallen.
Oh, it's already taken. So knight takes, which is kind of forced, but otherwise you're just a pawn down.
Yeah. But that means something's bad going to happen, is it? Let me just try and work it out. So I guess there's multiple ways of trying to break this position apart, right?
Yeah.
But I actually think white's fine. Knight takes, surely if the queen does anything funny, white's queen can just take the center e-pawn. What's the main threat that Brett's threatening right now? Am I missing something obvious?
It's a long-term strategy where knight's taking the pawn, knight takes back, then you might go bishop a5 of sorts.
Okay. Bishop a5.
Or knight e5, just to kick it off.
Mm-hmm. And just to
and then you can start pushing the pawn.
With the intention of basically throwing as many pieces as possible on the queen side to basically get that pawn across.
Yeah.
So this is like a sack, essentially.
Yeah.
If I'm
sack for a long-term strategy.
Okay.
Or longer-term strategy.
Right. Something's happened. Wait, what? Oh, I think the digital board. No, the digital board, I think, may have misread the pieces. Are you following what I'm following?
Yeah, it's what I'm following now.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so let's take a look at. We can take a quick run through Aria's game. Aria 1. Let's see. And I'm going to go through it too quickly. I'll slow down. So very simple. Yep. I actually have no real substantial comments. Eddie, are you on the same game?
No, nothing. I'm still watching. No real comments yet. So that pawn's going to.
Move 15.
Move 15. Okay. Well, that's very dubious. Indeed, b4. Bishop b4 is a dubious move.
Bishop b4. Okay, yeah. I actually don't know if you're actually. Are you following the stream or are you following the game on your computer?
Stream at the moment.
Okay, so you're 30 seconds behind me.
Yeah, figured.
Okay, no problem. I was expecting you to be.
All right.
Just following the game independently on your computer, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. We are not seasoned streamers. So...
Hashtag IT problems.
Right, so yeah, I think it was just crushing for white eventually. Lovely. Okay, so let's take a look at any other games. Let's take a look at your Bristol players. I don't think you know any of them by now.
Not anymore.
However,
let's
see if I know someone from Bristol, but I don't know if it's in the championships. So let's take a quick look. Although I think the games for Bristol have all been played. Let's take a look at the plate. The plate is in 24 minutes. I think most of the stuff is done. Sorry, not the plate. The last round is in 24 minutes. That means we can go through the other games in our own time. So we've got the plate. In the plate we have one Bristol team, I think, and 2 Warwick teams. So Bristol 2 was playing Cambridge 2, and Warwick was playing Southampton, and Warwick 3 were playing Oxford 2. Interesting indeed. So
it is a big round. It kind of almost determines, the next, the final round.
Yeah. So I just don't know what the rankings are for this actually. Let me just see. Division 1, Division 2. So Division 2, Cambridge 3, Warwick 2, Warwick 3 all tied together. Warwick 3 ahead of Warwick 2 is quite funny. That kind of stuff always happens every year. There's always a Warwick team being ahead of a different Warwick team, and it's not in the right order. It's very common when you have a big university with many teams that when you are submitting your grade ratings and you're being in rating orders, if you don't really think about exactly, if you don't use the 10-point rule, or I think it's now called the 50-point rule, if you don't use it properly, then you actually have your players in out of strength order, and you could get a weaker team despite having a lower rating. Obviously, you could have a stronger team despite a higher rating on average, essentially. So that's kind of not uncommon. So, any particular games you are thinking of looking at?
We don't actually have many left, do we? It's only just one game. Oh,
no, but any particular players that have piqued your interest?
Yeah.
I feel like that is the big question. So let's see. Right, round 2 results. We want round 8 results for Division 2. Southampton versus Warwick. Let me see. Who do I know from Warwick? I know Tom Brown. Let's take a look at Tom Brown's game. Tom Brown versus Jai.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
Nope. Unfortunately, I think the live board didn't work.
Doesn't seem to work, yeah.
Yep, that's completely fine. And I have a feeling that they got crushed.
I mean, it is a rating difference of...
No, they didn't get crushed. Yeah, so Warwick crushed Southampton, which is completely fair. And then, what do we have? We have Warwick 3 versus Oxford 2, which looks quite interesting. Who do I know? George Harmon, Hong Zheng, Orion Debray. I think I know Orion. I don't think I've met Orion, but I've definitely seen the name. So I will take a look at their game. I think it was a tough game for those guys. I think big losses, actually. Is it big losses or not? Yeah, I think Oxford took the win there, across all boards, but we did get some wins. So what happened to Orion?
Yeah, the problem is, I think all the remaining games, they're all either, very one-sided.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they didn't work.
So, let's take a look. Right, so we have Orion White, I think, and James Black. Some interesting plays. I mean, the computer is going wild with the exclamation mark, so we could step back a bit. Anything strikes you, Eddie?
All very human moves, but that's what I just say. Bearing in mind it is a rapid play, so actually it's a bit, there's not actually that much time to think moves.
Yeah, it's kind of forgivable. Like you can't be super accurate when you're in a rapid.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
Routine moves, nothing out of the blue.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting.
Oh, for which move?
Rook B4. Sorry, I started looking at the stream again.
Rook B4 or Rook X B4?
Rook. I missed earlier whether it was taped.
Okay, Rook B4 was a while back. So Rook B4, what's particularly interesting?
No, yeah, it wasn't a take. I thought it was I think it's a blunder.
How bad is the blunder?
I'm taking a look now.
I mean, to be fair, the computer gives us a cheat reason. So if that happens,
It's E5.
Okay, fair enough. Right.
It's just a matter of losing a pawn otherwise, because the eval bar hasn't gone absolutely crazy afterwards.
Yeah. Okay.
She hasn't gone up 1.2, 1.3.
So the pawn's dropped, and you're supposed to play what, like queen up
It,
to pin the king against the pawn. Maybe, I don't know what's exactly is going on there. I'm a bit slow here.
I think it's losing. It could be a subtle thing where if on moving the rook, you're giving white the possibility of blasting through the center, taking the pawn on d6,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
queen indeed to go to c3.
yeah. Got you. Sure. Okay. All right. We will ponder. So
What both players are playing seems very natural as first instinct moves.
Yeah, sure. Oh. So apparently, take a look at move 30 if you can.
Load that up.
I'm just thinking about what went wrong.
Passing through. 30.
I see. It was a complete miscalculation. It could have been, but then Orion was on 37 seconds, and it's the kind of thing that that can easily happen to the best of us. Yeah, no, it's a very understandable game. Fair play, well played. Let's check on the rankings again. Let's see what's happened. Have the results been entered properly? Right, so let's take a look at Bristol. Your alma mater. You
Hello,
have
Chris.
Jonas Zerber, board 1. Ulug Beck, sounds like Central Asian, I guess. Daniel Cooper, James Guest, people I just definitely wouldn't know. Against Cambridge 2. It's not even that outgraded. Cambridge 2 are the stronger side, obviously. We will take a look. So,
yeah, yeah. It should. It certainly shouldn't be like a whitewash or anything as well.
yeah, it shouldn't be a whitewash. So let's take a look.
I think
Where do we
to
have?
really have a good chance to do quite well here.
Mm-hmm. So, um, one of the games is still going. 16. Take a look at 16 now.
Number
Right now.
16, James Guest, Joshua.
Right. Bristol is 1 point up.
Oh, this is one of the tricky ones.
What's going on? The board appears to have frozen. We don't know how many.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's run out of time or not.
No eval bar and not frozen.
Yeah. But it looks interesting. Did they agree a draw or a win? That's unclear. So I think this is just a technical issue as opposed to the game being settled. So let's take a look at any comments we've got on our stream. In case our many viewers, which I'm sure we are attracting,
We've got millions on the stream, obviously.
Yeah, thousands from across the world. All 4 corners. Right. Oh, we've got comments. Somebody has asked to promote us. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer you a promotion. Thank you. We've got a bot. And then we've got a very sarcastic viewer. Malika E. Hind. 1500. Sure. Love the rating inflation. That was referring to my conversion of my 120 grade. Now, I'd argue that when I was 120, 128, I was that strong. But today I am not that strong. So we move. Any more comments? We welcome them, no matter how sarcastic. Okay, I've also lost the comments. So we'll have to. Let's see. Any other comments from our viewers? No, nobody's really commented. I don't think we're.
I mean, it's only 3 viewers right now, so
Sorry, there's only 3 viewers.
it appears to be so.
Right.
Wait. How did you check? I'm going.
Well, the thing is, I'm not actually logged in properly onto my Twitch, so I would have to double check. Right. Anyway, let's double check something for everyone. The Buka results, the Buka ranking tables, Division 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, Warwick 1 appears still to be on top of Division 1, but given that they've taken losses from Oxford and Cambridge, I think. In fact, I have to double check. Have they? So, Warwick has definitely taken an L from Oxford. And have they played Cambridge yet? They haven't played Cambridge. Are they playing Cambridge next? That is unclear.
Could be able to work it out.
I should be able to work it out. It should be 1 versus 3. 1 versus 3 hasn't taken place. So that is that to decide. But I imagine if Cambridge are playing Warwick next, then it's not looking good. Even though we are ahead. Bristol 1 is currently on 5th. Will Bristol be able to sneak into 4th? That is a big question. Because the top 4 historically had the privilege of representing England at the European Championships. So 4th place is actually quite valuable in this particular scenario. Now, if we look at Division 2, Cambridge 3 are now up ahead. Currently tied with Warwick 3, but Warwick 3 are behind on game points, and Warwick 3, I understand, does not appear to have played Cambridge yet, but have played Warwick 2 and lost to Warwick 2. But Warwick 2 drew with Cambridge. Oh, this is completely nuts. So Warwick 2 have managed to wipe itself out from winning Division 2 by losing to Warwick 3. This is stunning Warwick behaviour. This is
no match fixing.
It reminds me of this standard Warwick behaviour from 4 years ago. So well done to the Warwick side. What can we say, you know? Okay, so
how big is the grade difference between the 2 teams, though? If it's not very big, then it's understandable.
We can take a look.
Yeah, just the team composition.
It does say. Come on. Oh.
Because I guess we're just waiting for the next round now.
Yeah, so we are waiting for the next one. We could look at some existing games. If you scroll and look at any games that you think are interesting, just give me a shout. I can give you a insight into Warwick. So I think Warwick 2. Yeah, there's something funny going on. There's a 1600 assigned a 2000 rating in playing board 1 of
that's suspicious.
A Warwick 2. So either Warwick requested that or Alex Holacek assigned that grade based on an online grade or something. This is something that he does do, where he goes around looking for people's online grades or, for instance, like FIDE grades or whatever, and then kind of mess around with it. So, actually, no, I've misread it. He does have a 2000 grade ECF, but his FIDE is 1600. Fair enough. That's still in order.
It's some basis.
But they're not that much stronger than Warwick 3. Warwick 3 are Warwick 3 average 1750 essentially, whereas Warwick 2 average 1950.
Yeah,
I
so
think
the gap isn't absolutely huge. So,
yeah, and
any
you can
result is
see
actually possible.
in that level of chess, there will be people who are undergraded severely,
Yeah.
right? And that's where good captaincy really matters. So, Tom Thorpe, when he ran Book, he sure that if somebody was stronger and he knew that, he would make sure that he would take advantage of the 10-point rule, which is now the 50-point rule, where you could put someone weaker above, someone on a lower grade above someone on a higher grade, within the kind of within a bound, and that evens it out to ensure that your strongest team is actually your strongest team. Otherwise, you get
Mm.
embarrassing situations of Warwick 3, the beating Warwick 2. But that would captain's talking to you. Sometimes you just never know. It could actually be a legitimate kind of oversight. When you have 5 teams, 6 teams competing together in one of these teams tournaments. So, any have struck your?
I was still looking at some games. I was just looking at some at the same time. No, I'm actually looking for upset teams that's upset. Huge upsets to the overall
Yep.
score. Someone who's underdog, beating stronger
Mm-hmm,
players.
mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any so far, unless I missed something. Because those are the
I
ones
will.
really interesting, I think.
Well, we could take a look at the championship instead of the plate, potentially.
True, 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 true.
And also, the other big challenge is whether anyone's actually commented. Feel free to comment and attack us. I'm just telling our viewers that they're welcome to criticize. Well, I must admit we're not covering that much chess. Like we are mostly covering things related to chess. So I mean, there was an upset on board one of the top of Bristol
You're
versus
talking.
of the championship. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's a gap of 200 points ish.
Yeah, which is
That's my
sizable.
baseline at the moment. I'm
Mm-hmm.
using looking at this.
So Bristol board one beat UCL board one. Actually, that's not true. Well, yes, it's true. No. UCL beat Bristol, and oh, I see. The the
Oh, wait.
strength the strength that's being presented on the system is different to the 4NCL strengths, and not the 4NCL, the Buka published strengths. I think it's one of Alex's
I guess that's
funny
just
business.
saying that
Yeah.
grade is just a number really here. It's with a
Mm-hmm.
pinch of salt.
Yeah.
There is one game also, which is board number 7,
Board 7. Okay.
or the 7th game.
Yep.
Robert George Grazia versus Tarshan Kuhendian.
Okay. Nottingham versus Birmingham.
Yeah,
Birmingham
it's a
a
good 300 gap
1400.
difference.
Yeah, 1400 beating
See what went wrong.
1760. Let's take a look. So,
Yeah,
I believe this is called the Scandi, isn't it?
yeah, Scandinavian indeed.
I
They're
am
in
not.
going
I am.
D6. Okay.
I'm really not familiar with the Scandi. But you've had some good games with the Scandi, as I understand,
Indeed.
Eddie.
Do
So
understand it.
I don't know. I feel like the Scandi position for me feels far too open, and I have to be quite sharp and disciplined. So that's usually why I dislike it. I think.
As in playing it as black as opposed to
Well,
defending, or
both, right? I just find I mean, if you're defending it, you don't really have much of a choice. Well, no, you're playing it as black is quite open,
I
but
mean, you chose to play
yeah,
E4.
you just play e4, so you don't have like if somebody does that to you, you just have to put up with it, right? So, but I do find like I'm never too sure about where the queen should go if I were to play it in my head. Visualizing my attack essentially, I think that's a struggle for Scandi players, maybe.
I'm looking at the game now. Actually, I think by move 17, it's going to get very interesting. Essentially, White's got all these kingside pawns just ready to go, and then but also Black's got all these queenside pawns which are ready to go as well.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
like a race in attacking the king.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get wild. That's all I'll know.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the first blunder in on move 21, white queen e3.
Move 21. I will catch up.
Yeah.
Move 21.
And indeed,
So, yes.
why didn't black just take on g4?
So great. Let me just get to move 21. So basically, I'm still on around move 13 for the viewers, and it looks quite balanced. You can tell it's going to be a race, as you were saying.
Yeah. The moment that knight chops off b3, yeah, it's
Okay. So move 21 is the funny business. Apparently, the bishop shouldn't have moved back.
it's dropping dropping
G4, but black didn't notice. So did you drop it if black didn't notice? Did the true fall if nobody saw? The big questions of the day.
No. Anyway, the thing is, the moment if black took on g4, it kind of shuts down entire white's operations, the attack on the king's side, and then now it's sort of black in the driving seat if he he did.
But I think it was an over. I think at that level, like when you're around 14, 1700,
Yeah.
you are good, but you're not good. So you all your kind of insecurities eat into you. So I can see myself as a player for black and thinking that's a pawn on that side of the board. It looks a bit greedy. I've got an attack going. Do I go for it? What do I gain? You see ghosts and you don't take the pawn. That's what I imagine happened. What do you think?
Yeah, it could be.
Like because like we don't play, like nobody really plays rational chess until you really get to a very high level. I would say, like I would say anybody had been below 2000, like yeah, sure, if you're at 1800, you're much stronger than 1400. You're just blundering less. But I do think you still like what is 1800 in the old system? Like you're 140, right? Now 140s are strong, but they're not crushing, right? They will still make similar mistakes. So yeah. Anyway, so I don't blame not taking the pawn on g7. Where are you now?
I'm still just browsing through, and nothing really. Just normal moves, basically, mostly from them onwards. Eva Bar hasn't been crazy yet.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Interesting. F4 was interesting. I can see why F4 played.
Which F4 or
F4 on move 35.
35. So I'm a bit behind you. I'm gonna catch up. 35.
Everything from queen takes g4 at that moment. Everything just really normal routine. Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
The only thing I think worth pointing out, actually, is just that pawn on a4, the black's pawn on a4, that could be a potential a real asset in the future. So essentially, if say the bishop was chopped off in some way, swapped off, anytime you push a3, it's kind of forcing the pawn on b2 to take it, and then pawn on b3 could be
is very lethal.
Threat. It's pretty lethal. It's close to queening.
If black is able to kind of shore up the kingside position, then it's kind of really looking pretty good for
That's the sort of problem with when black pushed b3 to immediately just c3. It's gonna cause a long-term problem with pawn that's potentially pushing onto e3. But anyway, it's just, I think, an observation.
But I think it slowly clears up a little bit. Which more move are you on?
I went back to talk about about them a3 or when black pushed b3. Still looking at f4. Yeah, the problem with pushing f4 is it's committal, which sometimes isn't an issue, but it's committing to the fact that you've then got the weak squares on e4 and g4, and that is allowing entry for the white king to come in. which is really nice.
Yeah, which presumably did happen because
It's
like all the arrows are going crazy for white. Like you can move the rook into e4, you can move the king into e3. Yeah, yeah.
It's giving white play basically.
Especially when black should really have the upper hand, but obviously black did drop a pawn just recently. So
yeah, it's an actual mistake. Saying it's a mistake.
Yeah.
It's not playing immediately. It's just
Yeah.
that you know,
Yeah.
black played correctly just to attack the
Sure.
bishop, harass it, so that it's skewering it with the pawn behind.
Yeah.
White tries to defend bishop with e6, but essentially, black just double the rooks and d3 is still going to go.
Yeah.
And now black is very comfortable, I think. Oh. Okay, I see. It makes sense. Before taking on b2, to give a check on e2 first, so that the king just moves back, has less activity and everything like that.
Okay, let's see. The other thing I need to double check is actually whether your voice is coming through because I'm on headphones. So I think it's fine, but let me just check. Okay, so let's wrap up this game, and the next round has started, so we can actually start taking a look at the next round as the final round. So let's take a look firstly at the final round rankings. What does it look like? So, table for Division 1. Division 1 table, Warwick is now back onto third. It's really taking big hits from Oxford and Cambridge. I think it's going to struggle. Yeah. I think Warwick. Yeah. Warwick only got one win against Cambridge. So that was not ideal.
Yeah.
So that's they were Bristol is now fifth on 9 points, but is Bristol far away
to get to fourth?
Yeah, exactly, to get to fourth, because I think it is, and we can just take a look, right? Because Bristol would be playing. I don't know. Like, let's see what it's playing right now. I have a feeling.
Well, even in the best case scenario, right?
Yeah, in the best case scenario, if it beats, I don't know how many points you get, but if you beat your opponent, you get 3 points, right? So you have, in the best case scenario, you will be drawing, and I don't know if your tie breaks will work.
It's good enough, yeah.
So Bristol are playing Oxford 1, so they are just gone. Bristol can now not reach top 4 to represent the country, I think.
And on the assumption Imperial lose as well, of course, which is a big ask.
Yeah, that is, yeah, exactly. So who do Warwick have right now? Warwick should have Warwick will have Loughborough, so all in all, it should be a smooth sail to victory. Oxford and Cambridge are ahead of them. Is there a chance that Oxford and Cambridge mess up? No chance. Like, Cambridge will crush Bath. They are literally 200 points ahead on every board, at least. Bristol versus Oxford, again, they're about 100 points ahead on every board. So I think the final round rankings are set. Oxford, Cambridge, Warwick. I'm not totally surprised. It was very well done that Warwick was leading the table for quite a long time, but it kind of makes sense. So let's take a look at Division 2. Division 2, we have Cambridge 2 on up ahead, Cambridge 3 on second, Warwick 2 and Warwick 3 on third and fourth. So very laudable performances, I think. I think if Warwick 2 didn't get wiped out by Warwick 3, it would be winning the whole of Division 2 right now. I think that is the only match that failed them.
Yeah.
Which is really entertaining, to be honest. And I think that is just...
It's delightful for Cambridge.
it is delightful for Cambridge,
When you
and
use
I
Cambridge.
think like if Warwick captains were to come back and work out what went wrong, was a weaker player with a higher rating not put down slightly to rearrange. You just never know. Like I don't know the players, so it is just a case of like it's just impossible to know. So what do we have? We have Warwick 2 versus Cardiff, so it should be a walkover. We have Cambridge 2 against Oxford 2. That's funny because Oxford could crush Cambridge and turn the tables again. This is entertaining. And then Warwick 3
Yeah.
against Cambridge 3, and Warwick 3 are actually stronger than Cambridge 3. So
Yeah.
Division 2 is actually all to play for. This is crazy. Like, the result for Division 2 could be anything as it happens. So in actual fact, we should be paying attention onto the plate, not the championship, because the championship is already set. Okay, so we hope our viewers enjoy, but we have made an executive decision between me and Eddie.
So much more to play for in Division 2.
Exactly. So I don't even know where to start now. Let's take a look. This is really exciting.
I'm looking at the games.
Yeah. Okay. So what shall we go for? Let's take a look.
Early.
Well, also Bristol. Bristol 2 against Oxford 3. Is that balanced? Let's take a look. Bristol 2 against Oxford 3. That's also a funny close game as well. Bristol 2 against Oxford 3 is not a distant game.
Yeah, it could be anyone's game, really.
And again, anyone's game. So honestly, Eddie, if you want to take the charge on leading which match, I will just tell me which match to click onto, and I will click onto it.
Zurab, I'm just checking, just finding the right ones. I think there's streaming issues. I can't actually watch some of the games. Some of them are not broadcasting.
Are they not?
Yeah, some of them aren't. Unfortunately.
Okay. So, because they usually go around faffing around, like they send the technical arbiters. I think it will be Jarell Owley. Yeah. Historically, it's Matt Carr, so Jarell's one of the people who are very good at live boards. He's a former Warwick arbiter. Warwick at one point was not just producing lots of teams; it was producing sways of arbiters. So there were 5 of us who had come out in a 2-year period, 2-3 year period. So yeah, we were doing quite well across the board of chess, not just playing wise. But I think he's actually working on the live boards at the moment. Anyway, which games are worth watching at the moment on the plate?
They all seem very balanced, the ones I'm looking at in general.
Okay.
I think the really interesting ones are the ones that look wild, ones which you've never seen before, right?
Yeah.
Others whoever's just studied up the theory.
I'm trying to. I'm not being funny, but like Leo Sanet versus Ars Srimathi. Don't know who this is, but Warwick 3 against Cambridge 3, board 2. That game looks almost like not over, but it's almost like it's in the middle late game.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Actually, let's take a look at this.
What went on? I mean, it's move 8, and it looks like half the board's cleared.
It's half the board's cleared. King is already out. Ish.
What's going on? So I have not met Srimati, whoever that may be. Let me just check. Rajesh Srimati. He's a Warwick. I think he's. They are a Warwick player, I think. Against Leo Sani, also I have not met, but very interesting. So is this the Queen's? Is this the defense, French defense?
Yes.
I know so little about the French defense. It is alien to me. Wow. Queen's off, King's out.
But it's all very standard, normal, as in.
But it's also very standard.
It's standard, normal, as in it's still anyone's game, really. It could be any result. Both players are evenly matched as well, it seems, in terms of his rating.
Yeah, good stuff.
Let's go back.
I'm going to take a quick look at Tom Brown versus. Oh yeah, to be fair, there's no point watching the Warwick versus Cardiff game
Oh, one
because
game that's caught my eye is indeed
sorry.
actually this game, James Howland versus Ilya Misura.
So which board is that?
That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah,
11.
is it
No,
11?
no, I don't think so. James Howland.
Yeah,
No,
it's one of the earlier ones, I think. Yeah.
versus Elia Misura.
Yeah, I think there's a big attack for white here.
Okay, good stuff.
Pretty monstrous.
So, shall we scroll back a bit, and then work through the game?
Yeah. Cool. Sure.
Okay, how far do you want to go back? So again, it's a French defense.
Format seems to be quite popular today.
Okay, I know. Maybe, yeah, it's a funny one. Again, let me just check the stream, see if there's any rude comments.
You got opposite sides castling.
Mm-hmm,
Black goes for queen, white goes for the king. Kingside castling does, and immediately both players are already launching their pawns on the attack.
Yeah.
Which is the correct thing to do. And with the idea, of course, knight is one of the best defensive pieces. Both players having the knights to do that very one job really at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more interesting for white here. I think white's got more chances.
Yeah.
But that said, after h4's just been taken by the other rook, it's a bit. Sorry, right at the end that is.
h4, rook takes
h4 right at the end. So the game is still on move 74. Rook takes h4. The last move.
Is this blocked off? Is white safe? It's unclear, right?
Yeah, that's unsure immediately because now, there are ideas for black to immediately double up the rooks.
Yeah.
And then the h2 is going to be very, very weak actually long term.
Yeah, in the long term.
White will probably have to play a very sad move like moving rook to h1 or something, which is really not ideal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if it screams essentially, if king was to move to g2, moves such as to move your knight on e7 away so that your queen can go swing over to h7, a check on h3 just seems pretty devastating in ways. It's just ideas at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
But of course, there's the counter side. White has just launched the pawn onto b6. That is a very interesting move.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good stuff. Any other game? I'll take a. Feel free to take a gander.
I just think this is going to be a very wild game, and this is where a lot of interesting things that are going to happen.
Okay. So.
White also has ideas and really wants to push on c4 at the moment, but
c4.
The moment if you want to swap it off, drop few exchanges, there'll be d4 that is hanging. So, are you able to put the analysis board for the views?
Yeah, I can. That's why if you state the names of the pieces in the boards, I can always highlight them.
So if white, okay, white didn't do that. But if white were to play something like c4, it's just for illustration. It's not good. And then if the black had taken on c4 with from d5.
Yep.
You have serious exchanges with the knights and bishops, etc. But then at the end of it, the queen can take on d4. The black queen can take on d4. That is quite a devastating check on the king. And
take on d4. Wait, sorry.
So before the knight moved to b3, if say white moved to c4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The black pawn on d5 takes d4.
Yeah.
They will have a series of exchanges on that c4 square because all the knights bishops all defending it.
Yeah. Sure.
Saying is black's queen can take on d4, and that is very.
But that was before the knight could. Yeah.
Before the knight moved to b3.
Yeah. That's right. Got it. The doubling up has happened.
Yeah.
We predicted it, but I think it's an awkward place for the rook right now. Because actually, maybe it's not the worst place for the rook.
Oh no, the rook itself's fine at the moment.
Yeah, the rook is actually better than being on h1, which
Yeah.
Awkward.
No, this is not nice. Just adding pressure.
Yeah. I mean, what's the long-term strategy? Long-term strategy is for f6 to come forwards, right? You keep slowly grinding and pushing, right?
Well, it's possible to do that. You're saying f6 in preparation for, I'm presuming, then
f4,
from f6,
right?
f5 to f4.
Yeah.
It needs to be, if you're pushing f4, it needs to be very well defended or supported.
Yeah, yeah. Which it can be because f5 at least is very well defended. f4, you just need the rooks behind it.
Yeah, it needs a bit of rerouting.
Yeah, yeah, sure. But like, also your double rooks aren't doing very much right now.
Yeah.
Like, they look threatening, but they're not.
White's rook is really nice on f2. It is very nice. It's a multi-purpose.
Yes,
Defending
but multi-purpose also means it could be overstretched at some point.
Like, give it some flexibility, and then you got the other pieces to do stuff really.
I mean, Black's knight on b8 looks like something that needs some rerouting and can be used for a useful purpose. I think Black has basically secured its king side, queen side.
Yeah.
White is not coming in properly, I don't think.
You've got White's probably got ideas of playing to c5 and stuff like that, knight c5 at the moment, but that might even be played. No, not immediately, because let's just look at it. You see the actual any threats. Queen moved to d6. I'm looking at sacks really. If the queen took g3, I mean, let's just say it takes. Otherwise, you can be down by at least 2 pawns. So h. Can we bring that up on the analysis board?
Sorry.
Let's say
slowly, one by one.
Let's say knight just moves to b5. Sorry, c5.
c5. Yep, go on.
e5 men.
Yep.
Before queen goes to e2.
Queen goes to e2, does it?
Yeah. Wait, before queen went to e2, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So and queen takes g3, pawn takes g3, and the rook comes down onto h1. King goes to g2.
Slow down a bit. Okay, so before the queen moved up, if the knight went forwards,
knight moved to c5, right?
Okay. Yep. Okay.
And let's say queen sacks the queen, takes g3.
Oh, really? Okay, fair enough.
Which was a threat, I think. And then if the pawn takes g3, you've got rook h1, check.
Yep.
And then king has to go to e2, and then rook goes to h2, and I believe that's checkmate.
Oh wow! So if it had happened, that was a really nice line.
But now I'm thinking, can Black still do it?
Anyway, you mean?
Yeah, and just at least get a pawn if White doesn't take immediately.
No, but like you've dropped the queen, right? So unless you're delivering checkmate, you'll sack the queen.
You can still deliver checkmate, right?
Can you still deliver checkmate?
I think you can.
Check. No. Check. No, the king has an escape square to g3. No, it doesn't, does it? No, it has an escape square to f3. No, it doesn't. Wait, it does. It should be winning for Black, you mean? Right now. Yeah, it should be winning.
Oh, no.
Wait. Queen, you're right?
Yeah.
Queen takes. King, pawn. There's no choice unless... Yeah,
unless you just want to be a pawn down. You can just be a pawn down.
You can be a pawn down, but you've got to be really careful, actually. This is a very...
Okay, no. So they've moved.
Okay. He's done it. It is checkmate.
Okay, White's just about to be checkmated. Yeah, it's yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Actually, what a beautiful game. That's actually a beautiful game. I'm really glad we showed it to the viewers. I don't know who these two people are. They're not associated with Warwick or Bristol, but I think it's a really instructive game, actually. Really, really worth learning. Yeah.
It's just a moment when, when move to d6, when that threat was happening. I think it's really good to try and understand actually what would have been White's move to defend this.
Good stuff.
It already lights out completely.
That's amazing. Okay, good stuff. Let's take a look at other games.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at other interesting wild games.
We can revisit the Shamiti versus Leo game because that looked a bit, even though it was quite plain, everything was off. So I wonder how much more is off right now. Okay, it looks like a very boring game. I think I'm gonna be honest. I think I'd be a little bored. To be honest, is it that boring? There's a lot of things that appear. There's a lot of things that appear to be hanging.
Lots of things to be appears hanging, and one of the things that makes it, I feel, doesn't make it that dynamic, even though there are a lot of pieces, is that all white species are still in White's area, and all black species are still Black's area. Everything's still close to where they're defaultly placed. That's
in as Chinese chess goes, they've not crossed the river.
Nothing's really crossed the river. Just a bishop taken on c6, which is about to be recruited by a black piece, and everything's still on the same side.
Very, very entertaining, actually.
A good point to make, though, maybe just an observation: the pawn on black's pawn on f6. That could potentially be a weakness long term.
Okay, sure.
Potentially.
Yeah.
If white is able to solidify, that pawn to push to f5, then I think it's quite nice.
Okay, now let's take a look at Edward Gray's game. Edward Gray against Snehal Nataraj, both also White versus Cambridge. Very closely matched, genuinely, both online grades and in-person grades. You couldn't really separate them beyond about 50 points. So it would be really interesting to see how that pans out. Honestly, the position they're in right now is also very boring.
Boring position, not much is happening, really.
Literally, yeah.
All pieces on the same side of the river.
What are the opportunities here? What are the obvious opportunities? I don't actually see that many. I mean, it's not even obvious whether white is going to attack on the king side or the queen side, or whether black's going to attack on the king side or the queen side. Where the rooks are going to go in what open files.
White could have immediate ideas of putting pawn to b3, so your bishop can go to b2.
Pawn to b3. Wait, okay, that would be quite neat. A nice
ideas. But just remember, the pawn on f4 is on a threat with the knight on d5. Okay, so the knight moved to b4, which is interesting.
I don't know whether I like that. I think it's a bit aggressive, given black's not really not really developed any of his pieces.
It does make a semi-threat to take on d3, because I don't think white would want this exchange. Once you've got exchange, so say knight takes d3.
I think the pawns are split up. It's a bit awkward.
Exactly, you've isolated itself on its without support from other pawns. It's going to be very weak.
And the bishop has it's not a very useful bishop right now, but it's still a very strong bishop in the center of the board. It stretches all the way from a6 to h7, so it's a neat one. I don't think I agree with that.
And the other thing, before we move on to it, the knight before d5 was actually quite strong. It was quite monstrous where it is, and the only way to push it away is either you chop it off with a bishop, exchange it, which is one way. In which case, say bishop went to c4 to attack the knight. Black could always play something like bishop e6 to solidify it even better. But the point is, it's actually very strong. It's doing a lot. It's covering a lot of squares right in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure that was the right call, but I don't think you're going to be up or down the eval by 0.5. I do think at best play, white has a marginal advantage right now.
I mean,
I was gonna prefer the bishop on the fianchetto, but I do think.
So black's got the bishop pair now, which is also always very nice to have. I wasn't sure whether black would consider f5 as a move. It's attacking, it's threatening d3 and gaining tempo. Basically, you can develop and attack the same time. Always nice, isn't it, in general? But there's an option playing b6 with actually, it's not necessarily thinking of just b7, bishop b7. You can play bishop a6,
Mm-hmm.
which is still playable, threatening the rook on f1 now, if we're to play bishop a6.
Bishop a6.
Yeah.
A6. I'm just trying to work out where was a6. Bishop a6. Oh, threatening the rook on
a6. If bishop with black moves to a6, threatening the rook on f1.
Okay. To weaken what? Are we trying to do? What are we trying to achieve?
That's developing piece, and also, attacking a rook. It's always quite nice to have.
Yeah, but surely it's just moving the rook into e1, which actually is where rook wants to be anyway.
Could be. Yeah. Options.
Yeah, okay.
Before when the pawn was on d3.
Sure.
Moving to a6, you're actually threatening the pawn as well.
Sure. Got you. So we're talking a bit further behind. Okay, that's fine.
Anyway, pawns got exchanged. Okay, that single pawn, lights out, exchanged.
Mm-hmm.
It's very even now, the game again. Just got more even.
I mean, yeah, like the white's marginal advantage was like, I actually think that if white held that pawn, it would have been stronger for white.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Have we got any comments from the stream chat?
Are we still with 3 viewers?
Are we? Do we want to take a look? I mean, it's okay. We don't have to pander to our audience. Audience capture is something we reject in this field.
No problem.
So what's the audience capture figures look like? Are we pandering to our audience based on whether we have 3 or 30 viewers? What does it say? It doesn't say on my phone. Sorry?
It's now dropped to 2. the number of viewers. Okay.
Well,
I mean, if you want to.
But the problem is if the viewing numbers has dropped to 2.
That's just me and you.
I'm afraid it's just me and you. Which is fine. Like, we are having good conversation. So, so the grey game is good. We'll revisit that soon. I like the fianchetted bishop. Like,
that's a good move. Yeah.
But I just don't see an obvious path to victory so far. So let's take a look at a different game. Orien Debray versus Kobe Cox. Okay, so 80 point, 90 point difference. Almost a similar theme. Kind of exciting, whatever's going to go on. Honestly, just very similar themes as the other game, to be honest, but a bit more dynamic. That's my assessment. I do think white is probably better in terms of space.
Are you talking about right at the end?
Toby Cox versus Orien Debray.
Oh yeah, I like white's position a lot more.
Yeah. How can you fix black's position?
What counterplay can you get? This is the key. This bishop b1, miles away from the attack, is actually doing a very, very good job on covering all the light squares, so
the knight can't get in.
So the knight can't get in.
And the other actually, the knights were really sad.
It's basically forcing, in some ways, to force knight to through 2 moves, moving to something like d7, and to come into e5.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is quite nice for the black knight as well, but it's forcing black to make 2 moves of it.
Which is not the momentum you need when white is mounting the imminent attack. And it is imminent because all the rooks and the queens are now in place. So, it's so imminent that the rook f1 can even move straight down to f5. Well, not right now, but it could have moved straight down to f5 and just moved it around because the king is just so exposed, pinned down.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. I disagree with that. That was a bad move. I would have
But
probably put the queen on g3, I think. Because you're still keep holding the pin for the king. Now your queen is blocking in the rook, in my view.
well, multi-purpose actually. It does mean that black can't move to d6. Is that what bishop is saying?
Bishop. Sorry.
I
Oh,
mean, what
yeah,
black wants
yeah,
to do is at some point to push e6 to break it apart, so
yeah,
that
but he
he can come
can't.
back into it. But he
Yeah,
can't
okay.
now because otherwise f6 bishop f6 is bishop on f6 is going to be hanging.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting. The sad thing is the black queen can't even do very much
can't
because it's stuck. Which, but the fact is the queen is also trapping the knight. Yeah, so
it's important to see, does white still have any more threats, at least in the very, very short term?
in the short
Because
term, no,
very,
but
very
in the long term, it's crushing unless black is able to fix up the position.
because black could start making some very annoying moves with ideas of moving on pawns on the other side. So move like a4,
A4.
moves like
Okay.
a4,
Yeah. Okay.
because obviously all of white's pieces are on the right hand side.
Yeah. So
Black
you
can
can
start
actually
flanking.
break through.
Yeah,
Black needs to go on the offense.
yeah. I mean, a move like that, that's a very, very sad move to play
What?
f8, rook f8, what black just did.
Rook f8.
It's proving, it's almost saying to white, yes, you've got an attack. I now have to be on the defense. I can't
Yeah,
make.
this is completely concessionary.
Yeah.
This is really sad.
Now with queen going to f4,
Yeah,
you've got threats of moving to come to h6 check.
you're just losing so much momentum. This is really depressing. The surely the rook should have gone to the open file,
To on
taken the h8 open file. So I think black is going to really struggle here. Like you can't be losing momentum in a game where you're behind. You're just never in a position to even threaten victory, I think.
the benefit of going to h6 here for white is it's forcing black's king to go back. And the moment the black king goes back, that means the rook has no possibility to come back, swing back to h8 because the king's in the way now. It's almost shutting down any operation, chances for black. You look at white's pieces, everything is equal.
Sorry?
All of white's pieces are just so active and doing
Yep.
everything they need to do.
Whereas if you look at black, bishop is kind of stuck. Knight's kind of stuck. Queen has nowhere to go. Rook is not doing anything. In fact, you can argue that none of black's pieces, if you removed all of black's pieces, apart from the rook holding f7, the position is unchanged.
Mm.
Am I right? Like, okay, say we turn the knight into a pawn, but if we remove the rook on the a rook, remove the queen, remove the bishop, white, the position between white and black has not changed. Like, there's no new threats because these pieces are just doing nothing in the first place. And I think that's really sad. If you were to turn around to black and say, "Hey, like, you could be 3 pieces down right now because you're playing that badly."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we go to a different game? Because I think we have overanalyzed this line of inquiry. Leon Jankov versus Kevin Yee. Let's take a look at that one.
Yeah, come off.
Okay. Drawn game. Looks nice. But
Let's start beginning. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, like, seems like a fairly normal standard game.
What am I doing here? Answer one of the queen. They almost drew it by repetition.
When?
Almost did. On move 17, when queen goes to a4, 17, so it's a bit low.
Yeah.
I actually think all this is theory, what they've just played. Thinking
Okay.
it, well, up to this point. So queen goes to a4, and then queen with bishop returning back to d7. Queen
That's
goes
so
back to
funny.
d1, and then queen goes to e4, and queen back to d7. So, and it is a subtle thing to realize that actually white did not want to draw, and I just decided to go to queen c2 after.
Yes, which is understandable for white because white is fairly drawn. I think like white is not weak compared to white's official rating on Buka is 1632, 22 versus black, which is 1681, and it looks like you get a sense that when you play a game, you have a feeling that your opponent is wildly stronger than you, and you don't think that, you just wouldn't take a draw in the early mid game.
Yeah.
On move 20, essentially.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh. So he moved just now. Sorry, I became move 23. Critical moment when black pushes d5. I'm surprised white took on it. Move 23.
D5?
Move 23.
Yep.
White took on it. I thought maybe pushing the pawn.
Got you. Because pushing the pawn actually gains you more of an advantage.
This was really good. Yeah, and I think basically if he pushed the pawn to d5 instead, so it's just a bit back. So don't go back. Yeah. Just go back a couple of moves. I think it's just streaming.
Yeah. Well, apparently, the computer was arguing that you could either do knight e5 or e5, or even queen.
Yeah, because it's all around the same ideas. Basically, it's focusing, homing down on that c6 pawn, which is a real weakness now, a real liability.
Yeah.
So I prefer the push pawn push, because all you need to do then is put your queen on c5, put your rooks along, and then you're just gonna chop it off. You know, your knight can dance around.
But I think he missed it. But I also don't blame them. These players are 1600 players. Like 120s do not always pick up. 120s are just 180. 120s are just 80 grade players, 100 grade players who don't blunder as much.
Yeah, and the other thing is, irrespective of, thing to highlight, irrespective of, ideas of how you can weaken c6, opponent c6, is actually the fact that by exchanging these pawns, you're actually helping black free up its pawns. Immediately when c6 takes back on d5, then suddenly black's pieces come to life a bit more. The rook's going to be more active. Bishop can move out. Everything seems much easier now.
So I think it was an oversight. I don't blame him, but it happens to the best of us.
So it's one of the most critical points of the game, really. Actually, I think at this point. Well, it'd be interesting to know how long white, if we could find that information, how long white took to make the move.
Oh, we can. It should say. It should say. You can see it. Which move did you want? D5, right?
I'm talking about the D5, or basically he didn't play D5. He did. No, sorry, not D5. E5. I won't be talking.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, well, E5, D5. Yeah, he either takes D5 or push.
Okay. 4:53, 3:26. So he did spend 40 seconds on it in a rapid play game. That's quite a long time. It's not a straight away. He didn't just take it off.
Okay.
He did think about it, but did he think about it deeply? That is a question.
Right, where did you see that information from?
It should be on your... Well, it should be on the stream itself, but if you were to click onto the game...
Yeah, I'm on the game.
It tells you what time, how much time is on the clock.
Yeah, sure.
In fact, it could be 50 seconds. you get a 10-second increment. So it's possible that he spent a minute on it, which is quite a long time.
Yeah, very regrettable moment here.
Yeah, regrettable. It's okay. Like it's something. The thing is, it's the kind of thing that I can very calmly say with you, but as a player, slightly weaker than this guy, probably. Like it's the kind of move that in the heat of a game, you don't see because you're like a bit stressed.
Yeah, always very different when you're in the hot seat versus sitting back here. Okay, Queen's just moved C1. Cool. Yeah, it's obvious what wants to do at the moment.
I found out. Okay, remind the listeners what White has to do.
I think White could. Moving back to C1, it was under threat, so it had to do something first. So we need to decide. Question of where. The idea of moving to C1, I think White is trying to then think of moving the rook from E3 to over to C3. From that point, to threat, indeed C7. And
oh wow! Black is the engine is recommending an aggressive attacking move.
That's not nice at all. Because no. Before Queen's moved to C5, which is what has been played, the knight can jump into C6.
Sorry?
The knight can jump into C6.
Not just the knight can jump into C6. The engine is suggesting Queen E6.
Mm-hmm.
The engine is suggesting Queen C6. Queen knight in. I think then probably knight in again. Kind of.
Because basically, when knight is on C6, you've got a really nice spot that's looking on E7 as well to fork the king and the bishop.
I think this is a shame, really, because I think this Leon guy, he's got so much potential, but he's just missing a couple of critical moves. Like, he's not playing bad chess. He's definitely not a bad chess player. But he's...
Yeah, rook C3. Very natural move, just played.
Yeah.
Okay, this is horrible for Black now. To play something like C8 it's very sad.
Yeah.
It's resigning. It's conceding, basically.
Okay.
It's just trying to say Black's not trying to win anymore.
Okay.
I'm just trying to like no.
So Orion Debray in our earlier game lost. But then Leo and Srimati drew, which is unsurprising because their game was a bit mad. So now, actually, Leon needs to beat Kevin, because I don't really think Edward Gray is... Ooh, actually, maybe Edward Gray can hold. Oh, Cambridge is coming down. Cambridge is being crushed in board 1. What happened? Shall we analyse board 1? There's an upset. There was a drawn game. A drawn-ish game became upsetted.
Sorry, which game is this?
13.
Number 13.
Edward Gray just turned things around. You know, the whole Fianchetto Bishop. Let's get back to the Fianchetto Bishop. Okay, 17.
Oh, okay. So Queen eventually moved to C6. I was thinking Queen moves to D5 at some point. I didn't mention it on earlier, but because we moved on.
Okay.
What's your thoughts?
Oh wow. Okay. So what the hell went on here? Queen takes. Okay. So
this is very nice for Black. Look at those bishops.
Yeah.
Look at those bishops.
Something disastrous happened, but it's unclear what happened. Let's see.
I think this game is material's dead even, right? But look at those Black rooks.
The Black rooks were just so much better coordinated and a tempo ahead, I think. And that tempo ahead just secured White 2 extra pawns, essentially. So it is just... I mean, White's never going to resign because White has 2 rooks. And it's still, good rooks. It's just nowhere near enough.
And that bishop on F6 that you've got on the board.
Yeah.
Look how strong that is.
Yeah. And it's also not being harassed by the rooks. It's very well defended because the Black rook is always paying attention to its defense. It's
And
incredible. It's incredible play from Edward, actually. Really well done.
I want to say three things about why that bishop, why it's acting just strong. It's taking the entire diagonal all the way to a1. So that means opportunities for pushing your b pawn. It's just going to be very well solidified. That's the first thing.
Because you can get the b pawn all the way to b2 without that much stress.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
It's a long-term sort of post-10 moves. It can go that far.
Yeah.
Second thing is it's eyeing that diagonal, eyeing up that diagonal in a way that the knight can't jump in to any of the black squares at the moment.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's covering spots of e5, d4, all these wonderful squares.
And
And the last thing is it's actually doing very nice. It's so hard to how do you attack it?
yeah, because that rook, the c5 rook is covering any potential attack. Like the c5 rook can always get back to f5 if they double up the rooks to harass it. Right, the only way to push the black bishop out of the way is to double up the rooks on the f file.
Yeah, of ways, and you've got to do at least 3 moves to get into that position.
So you're basically announcing it to the public if you're planning to do something that wild.
Yeah,
you're basically saying, "Look at me! I'm going to hack your bishop." And if you've got 3 moves to defend a piece, you can defend a piece. It's not impossible.
Yeah,
for sure. All right. Hope the listeners enjoy that, but just some really good game, some really well played game here. Like, very impressed. Let's take a look.
And at this point, just right to the very end now, it's it's 2.8 for black, but this is it requires a lot of good endgame technique to really to finish it off.
Because actually, even though it is winning, it's not easy winning.
If you go to the end, there's only black is only up by 2 pawns, and all together on the side. If black blunders a pawn of sorts, it could suddenly become a very easy draw.
Yeah.
Could.
Okay, good.
Just be careful.
I mean, they cleared up the queenside pawns, but I think they cleared it up in a way that was advantageous to white.
Sorry, sound's gone really weird.
Sorry? Oh, can you hear me?
Sound's gone really weird for a second. Okay, I can hear you
now. It's very unclear. I think it's very fiddly. Like,
it's fiddly. Yeah.
It's fiddly. But that black bishop is still working so hard. Like, now the white king's actually trapped behind the rook.
That's good technique from black to play something like that.
Very well done. Very good stuff. Although the black bishop is slightly
it's good just to think about, like, how would you convert this as black?
I think you have to swap the bishop and the rook off. Sadly, I think.
Yeah, an ideal.
Even now, the computer's saying the bishop to e5.
Yeah, that makes sense because you move e5.
Yeah.
Black. Well, white doesn't want to swap it off.
Yeah.
If rook goes to c5.
The player's on a mission. He's just seen it. He is not taking. He's not taking any. Oh, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Put the bishop in. Lock the knight rook off.
Yeah, that's good technique.
Very good. Like, he's seeing all these moves so effectively. It's actually really impressive. Like, I couldn't play like this. I think, like, my endgame experience is just too lax, too ill-disciplined.
White really, black just really has to always be in the lookout for really awkward forks, though, because a knight is a bit of a devil.
Sure.
Playing against sometimes.
Now, I mean, at this point, the knight has got some freedom. Knight does have some, like, again. Yeah, that's fine. Freedom is fine. Again, you've got to always look after the king. Are you always 2 moves away from being checked by the knight? If that knight is 1 move away from harassing your king, that's something you have to constantly watch out by. Yeah. So,
just a line I was just about to say, and the engine's already said it. It's going to f4. That will be forcing rook to move back.
Yeah.
To either g2 or G1 now.
Yeah.
I originally anticipated the knight not going to where it is, so it would have forced to book G1, and when it goes to book G1, black just simply.
No! This is a bad. This is a blunder. Blunder from black.
I'm not sure, but I would say. Oh, what's he doing? Wait,
Yeah,
what?
not good. Not good. Not good.
But why? It doesn't make sense. Okay, no, okay, you're now threatening to move to King F3, maybe, but no,
I
but no,
mean,
it's actually still for black to win, though. As in, from a computer's perspective,
yes.
it's very even, but practically for white, it's really hard to defend this.
Is it? Okay, explain.
So black's about to march into King F3. You know, it's flipping mates, and it could even start swing to G3, and then all it needs to do is start marching the pawn, swing a check onto B1, and then promotes to the queen.
Oh, you mean just threaten checkmate?
Yeah, it's threatening checkmate now. Now, you know, on live on the board, it's threatening checkmate.
Okay.
Okay, so you can immediately eval bar is suddenly jumped into white's completely lost. Because all now black needs to do is shuffle the king to E3, then push to F3.
Completely.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. What's going on?
Oh, and then what?
What? This is so dumb.
This is not an
This is not
1800 level.
This is bad chess. This is bad chess. This is not. This is unacceptable. This is fine.
It's unacceptable for an 1800.
This is unacceptable. This is actually this is outrage. This is unacceptable. This is so unacceptable. I'm disappointed by Alex's play. Edward's play. Sorry. This is.
Yeah, the move to play is you can play this fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, what white is probably going to do? Yes, chop that off, or swing.
You literally had. Yeah, he literally had a win.
It's making your life so difficult. Why is he making life so difficult?
It's so bad.
Once it's swapped off, it should be quite easy now for black, because the idea is black needs to. It's actually very educational, I think, for the viewers here.
I think so.
But once those 2 points are swapped off, black's idea is to block the white rook from harassing it from continuous checks.
This is crazy. So what's black's idea? Where does what's king's ideal position? Is it a swap off? Is white's strategy just to push the white pawn?
Black's most ideal situation is to have a place where A, the pawn can march forward, and B, the rook can block the white rook from any checks.
Yeah.
So in this instance, what we've got right now, it's for the rook on H1 to be on G3, because there's nothing that we can really stop it, really.
G3. Okay, so we want the rook to basically go to G3, and then... Okay, basically we want to clear the pawn first. H3 or G3 to clear the pawn. But the clearing the pawn is a ball ache, really. This is so unnecessarily stressed. Like, why has he done this to himself? I can't believe it. Okay.
If he's not careful, he will draw. It will be a...
Yeah, it will be a draw. That's fine.
If he's not careful, it'll be a draw.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but he had him in checkmate. What the hell? I mean,
okay,
that's crazy.
6.1. Oh, what? Oh, I mean, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's just crazy play. Like, I think they've defaulted back into their instincts. Like, these players are 1700, 1800, but they, not so long ago, a year ago or 2 years ago, they were probably like 14, 1500s, I'm guessing. And so sometimes you can default back into like...
A move just now like E5 really didn't make sense I guess it's blocking the king. But if you're going to do that, you might as well move to D5 instead, because the king's now further away from action. It would have made sense. It would have pushed it back to the left.
Yeah.
But at the same time, blocked it off. But
Yeah. No, I get it. I think it's fine. I think it's a bit nuts, to be honest.
It's quite an easy win actually for black now.
I
You
think
just
it
push
is.
it,
Yeah.
and eventually rook swings back to h4,
Yeah.
h5,
Yeah.
down
But
to
I don't
h,
think black. I
and
think
then g2.
black's panicking. Black is now worried about pushing. You can tell. Like the obvious move is to push the pawn, but he's worried that he'll get himself trapped and hit that panic. That's he's seeing a ghost, and because he thinks he can't push, he's not pushing. See, he's not even playing the right move here. It's actually insane,
Oh
right?
God!
It's actually crazy, right?
It's basically still winning, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. It's like
Okay, yeah. This is now it's to move something like e3. Very important.
what
Moving to
moves
e3.
e3, rook e3.
Yeah, rook e3. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's going to make the wrong call. I have this terrible feeling. He is panicking because he's thrown away an easy victory, and he's not playing logically, and he's on 50 seconds down, and this doesn't look like someone in control. He is not in control right now.
Yeah.
You could see him even offer a draw. You can even see his opponent not even take it because his opponent's like he doesn't know what he's doing. I
The,
think
the,
he's
the,
lost. Right, it's
the,
gone completely cuckoo. Right.
oh, you'll never win like this.
No, no, no. He won't. He won't. But he's gone into that state now.
The
He
only
can't.
way to win is
Mm,
literally to shield your king with your
yeah,
rook at some point,
yeah,
whilst
yeah,
White trying to harass the king.
yeah,
At
yeah, yeah.
this point, he's not doing that.
So you need to. I think there's a solution. King needs to go to f3, and Rook needs to go to e4, and then I think it should be fine. But at the moment, he is stuck.
Hmm.
I mean, the good thing is at least his pawn and rook are like, like he could even mess us up big time. Like you know.
Yeah, well, in the worst case scenario, it's just a draw with a rook and a king versus rook and king.
Mm,
I mean,
crazy.
to make progress,
He
Black
could
has
even
to.
he could even get
Oh
himself
no!
in.
Oh no! It's
He,
it,
it's
is it a draw
atrocious.
yet? Is it a draw now? Wait,
It's not a draw. It's not a
okay,
draw
no,
yet.
no, no. If Black goes to
If black goes to f file on the f file, if black lands itself on
yeah,
the f file,
yeah,
it
no,
is
no,
disastrous. Yes,
with a check while the king's there, yeah,
yes,
on the F1.
yes. It's completely
No, no.
nuts. Like I don't know how it's managed to turn into that. But genuinely, like this is a live experience of watching a player who is clearly stronger than this player is a strong player at 1800, right? But defaulting into the kind of 1600 panic. You can just see it, right? And I think it's a really instructive lesson on not panicking in these situations, being very clear eyed if you're still. Because I think the player thought he was completely winning, 2 pawns up, rook and bishop in a good place, and he lost all this. So subconsciously, he now thinks he's losing or drawing. He doesn't think he's winning. And once you're not in a winning mentality, you you then play defensive moves, and defensive moves that look defensive are actually losing moves. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? And I think if if people are watching this, this is a yeah, really, really insightful. I think we should actually stay on this. Black is victorious. Win for Black. I think he resigned. Win for Black.
Okay.
Well done, Edward. Um, honestly, it made us panic. I think it
Made
didn't.
it more difficult than he needed it to make it, basically.
And then Leon Yankov for Warwick also won. So actually, this is crazy. Just free. It actually means that it actually means that Warwick two
This sound's gone
potentially.
funny again. Okay.
So Cambridge three might not be second anymore. Warwick two and back on top. I think is Warwick 2 situation. Warwick 2. Cambridge 2 beat Cambridge 2, I think, overall. Oxford, who was 100 points stronger than Cambridge, threw away their lead, which I don't understand. Like, Oxford have played atrocious. But overall, I think most of the results are now in. And I think it's pretty settled. I think Warwick 2 have beaten Warwick 3. Warwick 2 have come second, Warwick 3 have come third. If Warwick 2 didn't lose to Warwick 3, they would have crushed Division 2 completely. Division 1, we can say that Warwick has probably officially come third. Very well done, I think. And that's, very laudable. Like 2 points behind Cambridge and Oxford, which drew. I'm going to be honest, I think that was the right result. Bristol, unfortunately, didn't come fourth, came fifth. So, let's take a look at Division 3. These are, where our friends, Sid, our friends Tunga, will be playing in. So, let's take a look.
Yeah, how is Tunga been doing in this? Can we see the
live results? Let's take a look. Let's go to Division 4. The chair of the Warwick Chess Society.
Let's see if Tunga ever rewatches this video as well.
I know. So, not to put too much pressure and shout out to the players too much, but Division 4, can we actually see the Division 4 breakdown of all the players? Or is it actually just per round? Okay, so per round, Warwick 5 lost or against Cardiff, but Tunga won. Well done, her. Round 2. Why are we going through just Tunga's games? But that's only because we just know, you and I only just know Tunga.
Yeah,
it's so good. Tunga then won her game in round 2 against Kent. The rest of the team also won. Well done that. So this is quite funny.
It's a good win, yeah.
Well done to Vash for drawing. Actually, we know everyone in this. I know everyone, you don't. Vash, Sid, Arthur, and Tunga, all good friends of mine. Okay. In fact, Vash Ravi, you'll meet her at the Warwick Rapper Place. She is running for president of the Warwick Chess Society, so going to be quite competitive this year. Warwick 5, round 3, they also won. Well done to Vash, Sid, and Tunga for winning. Oh, Warwick 5 are doing on a roll. What's going on? I hope it keeps going. Round 4, Warwick 5 play Bristol. Oh, they all get crushed. Fair enough. Bristol is strong. It's got Hayden Griffiths, Asher Gina, Thomas Gregory, and Tommy
as a
Wilkins.
third team, that is a very strong team.
That is
to have 15-40 on your bottom board.
Yeah. On the bottom division 4. And also Asher Gina was an England junior. Like, it says she's 1700, but I think she's stronger than that. She must have been stronger than that. She must have been like 140, 150. And 140, 150 is strong. So Asher, I imagine, had like a 9 out of 9 tournament, I suspect. We'll see if she did. Let's take a quick look. Warwick 5. A marginal loss against Birmingham. Very marginal. 2.5, 1.5. Wins from Tunga and draws from
Wait, hold
Arthur.
on. So Tunga's a 4 out of 5, then she's going to get the prize.
She's going to get the board prize. We expect a board prize from Tunga, I think.
She's going to board prize. She's got at least a bronze one or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. But I imagine at this performance rating, it should be swimming for her. It should be like 9 out of 9 kind of gold board prize, if I'm correct. Let's take a look at Asher Gina. Yeah, oh my god, Asher Gina lost the game. I was expecting her to win all her games, actually. Southampton 2. although it's against another 16 forward 50. So, fairly strong, but Bristol won overall. Okay.
Yeah,
Round
it's a close one.
6.
Half one and
Yeah,
a half.
close one. Round 6, we have Warwick 5. Again, some tough games, 3-1, but there were 2 draws from board 2 and 4. Well done.
Tonga's on 4.5 out of 6.
That's not too bad. Well done. Well done.
That's
I
definitely
think it's also
price.
really tough for Vash on the board 1 as well, because Vash, being on board 1, sometimes you can play some players that are literally board 1 of their only team, and then they
Yeah,
are just overpowered, right?
yeah.
Or you could be on board 1 of someone's second team, and it's just not a pleasant place to be. And then what do we have? Bristol 3, another win for Asher. That's what I'm expecting. I should be seeing lots of wins from Asher in this division. Asher is too strong for this division in my view, but that's fine.
Even compared to Hayden.
Well, so 7 again. Warwick taking L's against Loughborough, but again another win for Tonga. Well done her. What do we have?
7.5
Bristol. Bristol
now.
again, another win for Bristol against Cardiff. Another win for Asher. I'm sure Taryn will be proud. You've not met Taryn yet, but Taryn's the chair of the alumni. Does some great work. So very proud of those two. So round 8, we have Warwick 5. Great win against Leicester 3. Although it was a default win at the bottom board. Vash won her game on board 1, although the opponent wasn't very strong, so that's fine. Okay, laudable win. And then Bristol, where's Bristol gone? Bristol 3, another strong win against Leicester. Something happened. Oh God, Asher lost to 1200. That is bad. Gonna have to inquire what exactly happened there.
Well, then, no. First of all, the caveat is a C 1200.
Yeah, it's a C, so it's an estimate.
It's a C is an estimate, which whenever you see anyone with a C, I'm like, plus or minus 300. I always.
Yeah, for sure.
It just seems to be a bit of a gap.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. Nothing spectacular.
So
Final round. Final
woman.
round.
Yeah, Tonga won it. Oh gosh.
No, Tonga got a draw. Warwick took an L overall.
She won. Tonga won it.
No, she didn't. She got a draw.
Oh, sorry. No, on round 8, I meant.
On round 8, yeah. So I imagine.
Now, round 9, 7.
So I imagine Tonga probably at least got a silver prize, if not a gold prize. But pretty tough. A pretty tough overall game for Warwick 5. I think it's tough, right? Because Warwick 5 were never expected to win Division 4. Warwick 4 is supposed to be in Division 4. So
yeah,
you can just see that the Warwick 4 would have crushed everyone here. But in this particular case, Warwick 5 had a great run overall. They held themselves well. Okay, good stuff. And then you've also got a situation of Bristol, draw for Bristol, L for Asher. Okay, anybody interesting that we might know? Nobody else, but it's good to see young English women juniors, young England juniors become, great adult chess players and still play chess.
yeah.
And let's assess the final results overall. Division 1 confirmed. Very good. Yep. Well done to Oxford and Cambridge. We expected that. Oxford and Cambridge have their varsity match next week.
Yeah, gosh, there's another.
That would brutal. Be, where is that? Is that going to be at the RAC, I think?
It is hosted at the RAC, yes. The Royal McGill Club in London.
On the Pall Mall. So, but next week is actually, in fact, more importantly, the Warwick Rapid Play, the 7th Warwick Rapid Play. So me and Eddie are actually going to be present. Eddie is playing, and I will be spectating. Taking a break. I'll be popping up and downstairs from the lab back to watching upstairs, giving support, and there will be an alumni society social, meal, dinner afterwards, so everyone's welcome. Warwick /Warwick +1s. and drinking festivities afterwards. So look out for that. Let's take a look at Division 2.
So wait, it's Cox and Cambridge joined first. Who is actually first? Do we know yet?
Oxford, because I think the tiebreak.
The tie breaks. Okay.
Yeah. Alex forces tie breaks because it's just effort trying to have 2 champion trophies. So he's forced a tiebreak. Yeah.
Someone's gonna get it. I don't know if they might do something.
He also has a silly tiebreak. We complained one year, but it's a fair tiebreak, which is the team that is slower graded. If all tiebreaks are the same, usually are given an advantage on the tiebreak because the slightly weaker team did better as a distance compared to the stronger team if they got the same score and the same tiebreak.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting one. So Warwick came second and third in Division 2. Cambridge came first. Again, this is probably an oversight of team deployments that meant that Warwick 2 got pushed off. Like Warwick 2 did very, very well, and should have won. Division 3, which Warwick 3 should have been in but isn't, wasn't won by Warwick, obviously. Warwick 4 had a pretty tough time. Fair play.
Won by Bristol 3, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got LSC, Cambridge, Imperial.
Wait. Oh no, sorry, no, that's not this one.
I mean, I don't know who was in Warwick 4. We could have a quick look. Warwick 4, Amélie Laurent, Tommy Coker, Roy Rice Gisardo, and Archie Lodge. Lovely people. I know all of them. Very, very, very good people. But it would have been a tough time for them. Being pushed up a division that they don't expect. And then you've got Division 4, which we've already covered. Some very, very admirable plays. Obviously, shout out to Dunga, I think, for getting a prize. Who else might have got a board prize, do we think? Let's take a look at Warwick 4. Warwick 4, Archie. The thing is, Warwick 4 will Archie on, because it's basically board 4s are something to look out for, right? And the question is, will the board 4s all win board prizes? Win for Archie on round 2, round 3. Because what Warwick usually have is strength and depth. So it's really important it's really, really important to put someone who's slightly stronger than you, but on a slightly higher or lower grade on the bottom board, because you're allowed a 50 to 100 point grade difference, and that allows you to kind of slightly rig the system a bit. So I think Warwick
100 is actually quite a lot.
100 is quite a lot, but I think Warwick didn't take advantage of this kind of stuff as much as it could have, essentially. So I mean, I don't know.
30 ECF all points, which was a lot. What's the difference between 2-7 versus the 140?
Yeah.
For instance.
So let's take a look at Division 2. Division 2, they would have Warwick, Leon Yankoff on bottom board, and also George Harmon. Big question is whether George Harmon and Leon Yankoff both won board prizes, because usually Warwick fares quite badly on board 1 and 2, and then does quite well on board 3 and 4 as an average. That was 4 years ago, so I'm a bit out of it to really know exactly how it was done. But overall, it seems like the teams did really well. Bristol seems to have had a good run too. You guys sent 3 teams.
That's good. Yeah.
So it's quite healthy. I mean, I remember one year when Bristol sent 4, 5. You guys sent 5 or 6 teams one year, and that was quite nice. During the days of Alice Lampard.
Then after I left.
No, was it after you left? No, it wouldn't have been after you left. 2018. I think you sent 5 teams. No, but it wouldn't have been 2018. You wouldn't have left 2018. You would have been.
I thought we only had 3 teams then.
Oh, maybe you dropped again. No, maybe it was the year before. I can't remember, to be honest. We have to double check. All right. Anyway, long story short, all is good. let's take a look at back to these games. I think we're probably still languishing on 2 viewers. Is that the case, Eddie?
Yeah, one of which is me.
Right, so if we're on 2 viewers, then it has been a real pleasure. Let me work out how to stop the recording. I'm gonna say thank you everyone for joining, and if you're gonna listen back to this, hopefully you listen back to it from the middle-ish, because I think at the start we were just trying to get our grip on the technology, get it to work. So
Yeah.
that was quite fiddly. You can understand how fiddly the technology is by the fact that you can actually see our tabs on our screens that we've shared on the stream, and the fact that you can, like, I only have Eddie's name on the stream, only because I haven't quite worked out how to crop things yet on this system. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone.
Learning process. It's a learning process.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any final comments from you, Eddie?
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's the first stream,
Excellent.
which has been very exciting for me. So
okay, excellent.
Reading all this book.
I'm sure we'll do many future streams. So thank you everyone for listening. Welcome.